Hi everybody, Nick Tenbrook here. We're here again today with Val Garay, record producer of fame and fortune, and he's going to tell us all about his experiences working with Neil Diamond today. So what happened? How did it happen, Val?
The Neil Diamond connection started with Bob Gaudio. I had done a Four Seasons record with Bob Gaudio that had a huge hit on it called December 63, Oh What a Night. And I'd done two songs before that with him and Frankie Valli, My Eyes Adored You and Swearing to God. So when it came time for him to work with Neil, he wanted me to be part of it because I'd made these huge hits with him prior to that with Four Seasons. So he did this album with Neil Diamond called I'm Glad You're Here With Me Tonight, and came to me to mix it. He did it at the Sound Factory where I was working at the time, but I was in the middle of four other projects between Linda Ronstadt and Andrew Gold and John David Souther and Orleans and one other one. I can't remember what it was. So I didn't have time to do all the tracking stuff, but he had me come in and mix it. And it had a big hit on it called Desiree. And I also got nominated for an Emmy for the special that they made of that album with Neil Diamond called I'm Glad You're Here With Me Tonight. And it was a TV special, I think on ABC, and I got nominated for an Emmy for that, for the sound. Didn't win, but it got nominated. And then few years went by and Neil wanted to do a live record. He'd done a live record before, and it was called Live at the Greek or Hot August Night. No, it's called Hot August Night. And it was a hugely successful live record. So now he came up with the idea that he wanted to do Hot August Nights 2. So he hired an engineer. They went to the Greek Theater. They taped it for, I don't know, 5 nights or 6 nights. And he wasn't really happy with the way it was turning out, so he called me up again because I'd mixed that song for his album and said, would I be interested in producing this record and taking over where it is and getting it finished. And I thought about it. I went, yeah, I'll do that. That sounds like fun. So when I started delving into the sounds and stuff on it, it didn't sound great. The live recordings were kind of funky, and I didn't really like them that much. So I told Neil, and he said, well, maybe we should book some more dates and record again, which we did.
Let me just interrupt though. I mean, how did that work with Neil? Was he hanging around the studio all the time, or he just sent you that stuff and you would just do it? Or is he there every day over your shoulder watching you making
When you're
comments?
talking about the record that I produced with him?
No, just this live stuff even. You know,
that's the record that I produced, Hot August Night 2. He entrusted me to the recording process and the production part of it, and he was pretty, easy to work with. Mm-hmm. And because the most of the tracks that were cut at the Greek didn't sound great, he booked 3 nights at the what's the name of the place in Minneapolis, the big center in Minneapolis. I forget what they call it, but I hired the truck out of New York that I really liked and all those guys, and went to Minneapolis and cut 3 shows and got everything I needed. I mean, it sounded great. It was a great sounding record. And it did really well. I have a gold album for it, and it was a big success. Mm-hmm. Then, another couple of years went by, and he came back to me and wanted me to record this this song. I can't think of the writer's name. Really famous writer. Wrote the song. Let me just go find it. Give me one second. So the song was called Lovescape, and it was written by Michel Legrand.
Yeah.
And he came to me and asked me if I would produce this track. And so I agreed to do it. And as it progressed, when we cut that and it came out so great, he wanted me to keep going. So we went on and did some more. We actually did a duet with him and Kim Carnes. We did Heartbreak Hotel, the Elvis
Wow.
song, which came out great. Can't remember what else was on that album, but another great Neil Diamond, very successful album. And Neil, you know, as a guy, was a lovely, lovely person to work with. I mean, he was just the easiest person in the world, you know.
Yeah.
And he knew what he wanted, and he was incredible at what he did.
Yeah. That's great. Really cool.
So that was the Neil Diamond experience.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. That's great. Okay, so I think we'll pull a cut in it for now and stop. You don't have to do anything.